Hi folks, it's good to see you. Hope you're okay today. Just want to talk about Thunderfoot, Iron Ra, DPR Jones and Fatally Flawed. It was a complete rivers of blood on the Magic Sandwich Show last week. I completely annihilated Thunderfoot, Iron Ra and DPR Jones. Not one of them provided any evidence for their position. They harangued me on their show, even though DPR Jones tried to make it look as if he was trying to let me speak. Actually, every point that I was trying to make, they tried to talk over, especially those points where I was trying to bring evidence to bear. And I've been wanting to get these guys for months and months and months, and I finally got them. I finally got DPR Jones, I finally got Iron Ra and Thunderfoot. And the way I got them was this: I come back from London and thought, right, what I'll do is I'll set up a debate and only give a short notice to Thunderfoot. So I did that, knowing that DPR Jones would react to this, and he did. He reacted just like I wanted him to react. Then I knew that it would get their interest because they thought it'd be a bit entertaining, and I'd done months and months of preparation for this. And then they PM'd me on Skype saying, would you like to come on the show? This was like 5 minutes before I they were an hour and a half into the show or 2 hours into the show, but I just got in, and within 5 minutes of me getting in, they PM'd me on that day when Magic Sandwich Show was on. And after a few minutes of them PMing me, I thought, I've got them. So I'd done months and months of preparation. They weren't expecting me to come on, because even though they PM'd me, they were not expecting me to come. So I said yeah, and because they thought, well, it seems as if he don't want academic debates when he's been wanting academic debates, he won't turn up. But I've been preparing the ground for months. So when I came on, Iron Ra was not prepared. He had no evidence whatsoever to back up anything he said. All he could do was, oh well, I'll refer it to my article, and he kept going on about the future, but he couldn't back it up in the present. DPR Jones made a statement that was quite on my side, but I even pulled him up and said, yeah, but whatever you're saying, you've not backed it up with evidence. And Thunderfoot, the only argument that he can come up with is a comic and just quoting a Bible verse, but he couldn't come up with any evidence. So there was no evidence by these guys. They didn't know the scholarship, and they didn't provide any primary source material from the 1st century, which I did. And I'm not just saying it, but they were completely demolished. And I defy you, Thunderfoot, I defy you, DP, and I defy you, Iron Ra. I call you out to make a public statement to say that you didn't lose, because I'm telling you, you did lose that debate. All 3 of you lost. And don't forget, it was 1 against 4, so I did amazingly well on that score. I was outnumbered 4-1. So that took tremendous courage when I've had you and the atheist community saying that I'm a coward, and I went on to take 4 of you on. But you see, I ambushed you because I was ready for you. I've been preparing for it, and when you invited me, I was coming on because I was going to do it. Alright? But you didn't know that, so you got took unawares, and I pulled you apart, all 3 of you, because I had the evidence and you didn't have any evidence at all. So DPR Jones fell into my trap, Thunderfoot fell into my trap, and Iron Ra fell into my trap. And so the best that they could do then was throw up accusations against me, which to be honest, that's what the atheist community do anyway. Whenever they lose arguments, they go on this kind of attack and cause these kind of controversies. Now they're kind of like ignoring me and just hoping that I go away. But the thing is, I beat 3 of their champions, and it was intellectual rivers of blood. they got annihilated. Okay. Someone said nobody won. No, I won. I completely annihilated them because I was the only one that presented evidence and citations. These people didn't provide any evidence and no citations whatsoever. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm going down in history as defeating Iron Ra, Thunderfoot, and DPR Jones. And it was a major historic victory for Christianity against atheism, because these people, next to Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins and people like that, underneath them are these people. These are the next, in the World Wide Web, these are the next sort of well-known kind of atheist. And it was a major, major victory for Christianity on YouTube and the World Wide Web. 3 of their champions, their most cleverest people, got totally and utterly outgunned, outmatched, annihilated, totally. And that brings me on to a show called Fatally Flawed. I feel that, you seem a nice guy. The guy who runs Fatally Flawed, you seem a nice guy, but you seem a bit fanatical. And I'm not so sure whether you want to debate me or you want me to come on your show and talk to your guys. I'm not just saying this. I'm not saying this, I really mean this, but it feels to me that you've got a bunch of vulnerable adults on that show. Honestly, it does. And I think you need to have a vulnerable adults protection. Whoops. You need a vulnerable adults protection policy, and you need to let us know whether you've got one, because you shouldn't be helping vulnerable adults unless you've got a vulnerable adults protection policy. So I don't feel I can get involved with Fatally Flawed, because you don't see, just doesn't seem, something doesn't seem right there. And I feel that you're simply just not in my league, and I'm not being funny, but you're just not in my league. I've listened to your shows. I've not seen any scholarship there. I've not seen any understanding of the scholarship required for the topic that you would be debating me. The people that you have on the show are not they're not intellectually capable of dealing with me. And some of the people on there you get on your show, they need a bit of emotional support, really. They need to go to and get some counselling. And that's probably the reason why you've only got a few small views, because people recognise that. So there aren't really many good atheist shows, really. They're all fanatical. They're all sort of dirty, 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 dirty. You know what I mean? Doing dirty, dirty, dirty tactics. There's nothing really on the World Wide Web at the moment that I would consider has any real academic integrity. I mean, even people like Richard Carrier are pretty bad and dishonest in their citations. I mean, Richard Carrier is the most dishonest historian I've ever encountered. I have checked up all his citations, and 9 times out of 10 his citations are absolutely despicable. They are not true citations. He is propagating major lies. And while they're propping up these major lies, these atheists are backed up by powerful allies like Potholer, who's spreading more lies than the KGB. And DPR Jones loves the guy, but everybody knows he's propagating lies all the time. So basically, it's just a very, very dirty, 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 dirty movement. And I beat them. I completely, utterly annihilated them. And there's nobody left to deal with. The only person who I could deal with is Dr. Jones in the New Covenant group or something they're called, and he has some kind of hermeneutical method. Well, I'm sorry, but I've studied at the highest academic level Racour, postmodern hermeneutics, feminist hermeneutics, postcolonial hermeneutics, you name it, I've studied it. Some of those hermeneutics, such as postmodern hermeneutics, I'm a bit of an expert at. So he would be no match for me. He would be absolutely no match. I would absolutely demolish him. His scholarship, again, just like the atheist scholarship, which is 20 years at least, I would say 80 years if I was being hard on them, 80 years behind us, but at least 20 years. And the same with Dr. Jones of the New Covenant group, or whatever it's called. I would say he's at least 10 years behind us in his understanding of hermeneutics. He's a bit backward on his hermeneutics. Well, not a bit backward, but very, very backward actually. An undergraduate could take him on in debate. He's that backward in his hermeneutical skills. And everybody doesn't, nobody really takes him serious. So I kind of won, really. There's kind of no opposition left. Nobody to debate anymore. Nobody to take on. I kind of won. I kind of finished you all off. So my work is done. My work is done. It's been intellectual rivers of blood to the atheist on the World Wide Web. And it is official. Jason Burns annihilated Iron Rap, Thunderfoot and DPR Jones. I am willing to take any one of these guys. I am so confident I can beat these guys. I am willing to have an academic debate with either one of them anytime, or to actually debate the whole three of them. Anytime meaning you've got to give me a week's notice. You're not going to ambush me like I ambushed you, because I'm smarter than you. Alright? So you've got to give me a week's notice. Alright? It's good to be a winner, folks. It's good to be a winner. And it's no good moaning, atheist. You started the war, and Jay went and finished it. And he finished it good and proper. He's left your warriors on the floor, completely annihilated. So don't you ever, ever pick on Thunderfoot, on Ray Comfort, or Cy Brugengate, or any of our boys again. Because if you do, I will come back and I will annihilate you again. And you know you was annihilated, atheists.